Yeah, much love to everybody, man. Tap in. This show is going to be wonderful. Another classic delivered by Red Supreme. We get down and dirty, but we stay so clean at the same time. You know? So I was chilling last night watching some videos, and then this video came across my desk. And then I seen the Compton Rick Rock video because Dubs uh, spoke on Compton Rick Rock, and he said he agrees with Compton Rick Rock style. He loves the way that Compton Rick Rock approaches things, and he just liked the brother style overall, and that's good too. I did Compton Rick Rock. I like Compton Rick Rock. I enjoy his commentary. I love his perspective on a lot of things. Now we're always going to disagree on something. You're not going to agree with somebody 100%. I don't care who it is. You got twin brothers that can't agree on everything, so that's life. We see things different from time to time, but that don't mean that we got to beef with one another because we see things differently. But check game, family. Hey, man, tap in, homies. Tap in with King Supreme. You know. So we gonna let the people get up in here, man, and yeah, man, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be wonderful. Back at y'all with the hard hitting content. Can you dig it? Let's get it. Shout out to y'all in the comments for sure. True Warrior Scholar. Hey, man, I appreciate you, my brother. Gerald, shout out to Gerald out there in Pasadena, California. What's poppin'? Royalty, what it do, my bro? Oh man, back at y'all with a banger. Back at y'all with a classic. Now, I did a stream yesterday, man. It was a dude talking about just lame. I'm not even gonna say his name. He's that lame. And I don't use that word loosely. He really is. He said that blacks were mad at the Mexican woman on Lucky from Hoodstock's platform when she said she don't date black. Man, it's like, bro, nobody cared about that. The female on the podcast was irrelevant. Everybody was calling out Lucky for what he said. And let me address this. Let's set the record straight. I'm not mad about this. I'm not in my feelings. I'm just addressing it because I have a platform to do so. I'm not mad like, oh man, we want to do something to Lucky. Nah, we passed that, homie. People say things on the internet, homie. But I'm not running around mad, so upset at Lucky that somebody want to do something to him. No, it ain't about that. Sporty Face said, man, we can take a fade if this is how you really feel. Lucky said, no, I'm not gonna get in the ring with you. If you want to see me, pull up over here, then do whatever. And it's like, why would you want to do that? Why go to jail for it when you can just settle it in the ring? But everything is based on perspective, man. It depends on how you look at things, man. Everything is all about perspective, you know. But when it's Bozo yesterday, and I ain't even gonna say his name, he said, "Oh, blacks are mad because she won't, the Latino won't date blacks." Nope, man, that woman is old, and this ain't no disrespect to her. This is an old woman. She looks like her grandmother. Do you really think blacks is stripping off who she wants to date? Nobody cares about her. She was a pawn in that conversation. Lucky tried to bait her to say something negative about blacks because he asked her. He said, "Do you date blacks?" She said no. He should have left it at that. Instead of leaving it at that, Lucky said, "Why not? Why not? Why not?" So he was baiting her to say something crazy. But she's a thinking woman. She was pretty sharp. She didn't fall for Lucky's trap. She just said, "Man, no comment." I'm with the Rasa, the Serranios. I'm with the Rasa. That's what I rock with. Pinot Code Threse. That's what she said. She said it's all about that Pinot Code Threse, and I'm gonna leave it at. But Lucky tried to bait her into saying something. He could have easily left it right there when she said, "Oh no, I don't date blacks." But Lucky didn't leave it there. Why not? Why not? Why not? So he was baiting her to get some type of response. And I think we know what type of response he was looking for. But she was like, "Nah, no comment. I ain't even gonna take it no further. Penal Code Thresher, and we're gonna leave it at that. And shout out to that lady, man. Shout out to that lady for keeping it respectful. Shout out to that lady for not taking the bait. You know, because Lucky was giving her bait to say something crazy, and she didn't take it. So we're not mad at that Mexican woman. She can date whoever she wants to date. Her preference is her preference. Don't bother me none. So I don't know why this gang goofy Gilligan wanted to paint a picture as if we were pissed off about our dating preferences. Man, that's crazy. And listen, the whole conversation was about Jenny 6ix9ine sitting on Blueface's lap, twerking for Blueface. So the whole thing started about Mexicans being jealous that a Mexican woman was twerking on a black man's lap. That's what they were mad about. If you type in Blueface and Jenny 6ix9ine, the Mexican community was up in arms. They were pissed off about the fact that a beautiful, sexy Mexican woman was with a black man. The Mexican community was pretty upset about that. So don't try to flip it and spin it and make it seem like we're mad at this Mexican woman's preference when nobody ever cared about her in the first place. You guys were mad at Jenny 6ix9ine for being with a black man. The Rasa community was pissed off about that. Don't try to spin the narrative, homeboy. Yeah. Right. Now let's get into this clip right here. This is Dubs. Dubs spoke on Compton Rick Rock. He spoke on black and brown issues. He spoke on a lot of petty stuff that's going on the internet. Listen, I don't want to hurt nobody based on what they say on the internet, but I will address what they said. But I'm not so triggered to where I just want to do something to them if I seen them. It ain't that serious. I give my thoughts, I give my opinion, and they're welcome to do the same. Hey, homie, we getting money. We got families. A lot of us got kids. So guess what? We all get paid to give commentary. It ain't that serious. I ain't got no problem with Dubs. If I seen Dubs, I'll shake his hand. Like, what up, bro? Ain't no smoke. You know what I mean? We got to be professional, man, because we can use what we do on these platforms as a stepping stone to do bigger things. So nah, homeboy, I'm never in my feelings to where I'm ready to crash out over something somebody said. And I'm not so pissed off to the point to where I'm ready to crash out over something that somebody said on the internet. It ain't that serious. Please believe that. I'm not in my feelings, but I have the right to address something that I disagree with. And that's exactly what I do on my platform. Anyway, let's get into this commentary. Shout out to Dubs. Dubs kept it respectful. He just gave his opinion on things, and shout out to him for that. Now let's get into this clip, and I'm going to break some of these talking points down.
Back to the channel. New video. I know this is the third video this week that I did on this topic, and I think it's probably the best one. I haven't even recorded yet. I freestyle. But I feel like we're gonna end the week on this one. Hopefully this is the last one, and it has to do with the whole Hood Stocks debacle, right? First video I did was on the OG.
That's cool. He went viral, man. You know, a lot of people go viral for saying silly things. That who cares? You know, who cares? People say outlandish things. People say outlandish things and go viral all the time. I'm not mad that he went viral. It is what it is. We're all making money, giving our opinion on the topic. It don't matter.
Hoover Gumby, right? And you know, he came out and hurled the worst slur, racial slur that you can hurl at a Mexican. He threw it out there with no hesitation.
Now, if you disrespecting people to go viral, then you a clown. I got to be real with that. I don't disrespect people for the purpose of going viral. I say things, I say what I really mean. I'm not saying this for shock value. So when I say something, I'm standing on it. But I don't disrespect people in hopes to go viral. No, I don't do that. That's clown behavior. But if that's your mission and if it works for you, then it is what it is. That's your thing. Make sure that you guys bless the like button. It ain't nothing. Subscribe to the channel. Support the platform. Let's dive into the conversation a little bit deeper.
I freestyle. But I feel like we're going to end the week on this one. Hopefully this is the last one. And it has to do with the whole Hoodstocks debacle, right? First video I did was on the OG Hoover Gumby, right? And, he came out and hurled the worst racial slur that you can hurl at a Mexican. He threw it out there with no hesitation. He had a couple other ones that he used. And, he spoke what he felt, what he believed, right? And then the second video I did, and those two videos came out on the same day, actually. The next one was Spotyface. And Spotyface, his was a lot more respectful. He called, he said what he said, but he did it in a more respectful way, and it was easier to take, But today, Compton Rick Rock. I always shout out Compton Rick Rock. I really dig his channel. I dig the way he thinks, the way he looks at things, the way he analyzes things, right? And then the way he expresses what he feels about things, right? So if you're not already subscribed to Compton Rick Rock's channel, go over to Compton Rick Rock TV, subscribe to the channel, check out what he's putting out. The dude is very intelligent, level-headed, even-keeled, whatever you want to call it. That's him, right? Now, he reacted to the video. I wish he would have done both videos. I wish he would have reacted to some of what Gumby had to say, as well as the Spotyface video. But he reacted to the Spotyface video. And I want you guys to go over there and watch it. But I'm going to give a quick little recap here, right? One of the first things that Compton Rick Rock had to say, and it's very important, and it's what I've been saying in a different way, but he said, look, again, he's from Compton, right? He's got family all over. And he said, look, what I'm seeing in the YouTube streets as far as this racial shit, he said he is not seeing that in the real streets. And you see,
that's why I disagree. I'm not saying that everybody's on that tip, but you got some people who are. So Compton Rick Rock he can only speak from his perspective. You know what I'm saying?
A certain percentage of people, small percentage of people who will get on the internet, will get on these platforms, and they paint a picture as if there's a full-blown war between the two communities and there's full-blown hatred and conflict between. It's not real. There are certain barrios that beef with certain hoods, and that's gangbanging. It's not racism. But I appreciated seeing Compton Rick Rock say that. Like, these dudes that are all flustered about this, they're not in the streets involved in anything like that because it's not happening like that no more, right? So he talked about that. What he also talked about is what I've been trying to point out to people is people want a backlash on Lucky from Hoodstocks, right? And yet Charleston White gets no backlash. He gets a lot of support. He's constantly disrespecting Mexicans. And nobody from the black community tells him, hey, that shit ain't cool. Compton Rick Rock said that when he heard what Lucky said, that he felt it was just something for clicks and views. Look at how much attention it got him and his platform. Lucky's not going nowhere. Just like Spody Face ain't going nowhere. OG Gumby ain't going nowhere. But Compton Rick Rock said that when he heard what Lucky said, that he was like, oh, that's for clicks and views. He said, nobody in the black community has checked Charleston White. So when Lucky does something that's not even close to what Charleston White would do, why is there such a big backlash? You can't have it both ways. You can't giggle and nod your head in affirmation when Charleston White says something, and then be all in your emotions when Lucky says something. I don't know him. I'm not sticking up for him. I've said in every video, I don't condone what he said. But the reaction to what he said, people being okay with all Mexicans being called racial slurs, that's pretty wild. It's pretty wild for people to demand an apology when they don't demand one from Charleston White. When they don't check him and tell him, hey, man, you can't just be going after.
For one, Charleston White is a renegade. Let me say this. Now, I'm not making excuses for what Charleston White says, right? But Charleston White is a renegade. Shout out to Tazo TV. What up, my brother? Lucky from Hoodstocks is a Southsider. So he falls under some type of structure. Charleston White don't fall under no structure. Charleston White disrespects black people more than he disrespects Mexicans. Charleston White disrespects everybody. He's a renegade. He's not going to listen to nobody. He's a black man, but he don't represent the black community. He don't fall under no organization. He don't fall under no structure. Charleston White is a renegade, a fool. Whenever he feels like disrespecting everybody, that's what he does. Now, Lucky is a Southsider. He falls under the Southside structure. Now, I get what you're trying to say. I get it. But Charleston White is his own man. Charleston White don't respect the black community. Charleston White says whatever he'll say whatever for money. So Charleston's not going to listen to anybody because he don't fall under no structure. There's no black program that he follows. Lucky, on the other hand, falls under the Southside structure. So we can't compare Lucky to a Charleston White. Charleston White is a renegade who says whatever and disrespects any and everybody. Make sure that you guys bless the like button. I wanted to address that. Make sure that you guys bless the like button. It ain't nothing.
That shit ain't cool. What he also talked about is what I've been trying to point out to people is people want a backlash on Lucky from Hoodstocks, right? And yet Charleston White gets no backlash. He gets a lot of support.
What you mean Charleston White gets no backlash? People then ran up on Charleston several times. A lot of people in the black community want to, there's a lot of blacks in the black community who want to get their hands and feet on Charleston White. So what do you mean he receives no backlash? The man got money, the man got security. Oh, he receives a whole lot of backlash, and trust and believe. There's certain places that Charleston White won't go because he fears for his safety. So there's a lot of places that he won't go just based on a lot of things that he said on the internet. So we can't say that there's no backlash for what Charleston has said about people. Charleston don't represent the black community because Charleston White disrespects the black community every chance he gets. Anyway, man, make sure that you guys bless the like button. It ain't nothing.
He's constantly disrespecting Mexicans. And yet, Charleston White gets no backlash. He gets a lot of support. He's constantly disrespecting Mexicans.
Same way you guys said that Marvelous Inc. don't speak for the raza, Charleston White don't speak for the black community. Yeah, he can say things that are true from time to time, but at the end of the day, Charleston White is Charleston White is a renegade. Charleston White is a troll. He'll disrespect anybody whenever he feels like it. Charleston White don't fall under no structure, but Lucky from Hoodstocks, he follows under a Southside structure. That's the difference. if you're gonna say that Marvelous Inc. don't speak for the raza, well, Charleston White don't speak for the black community. Charleston White is a renegade. Charleston White is a mega troll. He'll say anything for a bankroll. So no, Charleston White does not represent the black community. The same way that you say Marvelous Inc. don't represent the raza.
And nobody from the black community tells him, hey, that shit ain't cool. Compton Rick Rock said that when he heard what Lucky said, that he felt it was just something for clicks and views. Look at how much attention it got him and his platform. Lucky's not going nowhere. Just like Spody Face ain't going nowhere. OG Gumby ain't going nowhere. But Compton Rick Rock said that when he heard what Lucky said, that he was like, oh, that's for clicks and views. He said, nobody in the black community has checked Charleston White. So when Lucky does something that's not...
Black people have ran up on Charleston White. Y'all got a white man. You got a Jewish white man speaking for y'all because he runs with a Mexican gang. And if things hit the fan, the Mexican community is going to back this white man up because he rolls with Southern California Mexicans. The raza. Y'all got a white man who represents the raza. Charleston White don't represent black people. Charleston White represents himself. Charleston White represents himself. He'll say anything for money. So no, Charleston does not represent the black community the same way that you say Marvelous Inc. don't represent the raza Mexican community.
Close to what White would do. Why is there such a big backlash? You can't have it both ways. You can't giggle and nod your head in affirmation.
Well, you guys have no structure either. You just fear a prison gang so much that you bow down and take orders. That's why so many Mexicans are dropping out of these Southsiders and Norteño gangs. Now, it's mighty funny that people say we have no structure, but they copy and mimic our culture. The same people who say we have no structure are doing their best to copy our culture. They want to rap like us. They want to dress like us. They want to say on the dead homies. They want to do everything we do, but at the same time say we have no structure. Let me tell you something. What you guys have is dictatorship. You guys follow instructions from guys in prison, and that ain't no disrespect to your community, but I got to call a ball and a strike a strike. The same way I hold my people accountable for putting gang stuff ahead of their race. Stand on your blackness. Stop putting gang business. Listen, black people, stop putting gang business over your blackness. So when you see people say, oh, blacks have no structure, you have no structure either. What you have is dictatorship. You follow instructions because you fear a bunch of men in prison who are lifers. So they tax you. They tell you got to pay taxes. You got to report to this person, report to that person. That is dictatorship. That ain't structure. Everything they do is beneficial for them. It's not beneficial for you. Stop calling dictatorship structure. You're taking orders out of fear, not because you want to take these orders. I know what it is, homie.
When Charleston White says something, and then be all in your emotions when Lucky says something. I don't know.
If blacks have no structure, then stop copying our culture. Make music that comes from your own culture. That's the best way we could settle this. Because guess what? You don't see black people copying music or doing music that comes from other people's culture. We do music that comes from our culture. So you can't criticize us. Why? Listen, you look dumb criticizing us while copying everything we do at the same time because you want to use our culture to make money. At that point, you are a culture vulture. When you dislike a group of people, but you copy their culture for money, that makes you a culture vulture 100%. And what I'm doing on my platform is I'm calling out all of these culture vultures. If you dislike black people, if you don't like the way that we operate, stop trying to make money off of our culture. Go make music that comes from your own culture. Problem solved. We ain't got to deal with you. You ain't got to deal with us. Problem solved. Stick to your own culture and we'll stick to our culture. But I bet money you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. You're infatuated with our culture, but you want to talk greasy at the same time.
Know him. I'm not sticking up for him. I've said in every video, I don't condone what he said. But the reaction to what he said,
nobody's copying our culture. Why do you make hip hop? You dummy. And I'm addressing the trolls in the comment section. Why don't you listen, show me the music that Mexicans and Latinos make. Why don't you make that type of music? These people are so disrespectful that they won't even admit that hip hop is black culture. That is how that shows you how disrespectful they are. You know damn well that hip hop don't come from Latino culture. Salsa, mariachi, merengue, that comes from Latino culture. That's the music that you guys would be making if you was making music from your own culture. Show me the music that Mexicans made in the 50s and 60s, and I can show you the music that foundational Black Americans made in the 50s and 60s. The music that we made in the 50s and 60s got all the elements of hip hop in it. Hip hop ain't nothing but samples of our oldies. Hip hop is nothing but a sample of the music that we created prior to hip hop. I can show you videos right now of Black people breakdancing in the 40s. No Latinos around prior to any Latino contact. I can show you Blacks rhyming over beats in the 50s, dancing on the floor. You can't show me one video of your people doing that. So I said it before and I say it again. You're not even real enough to make music that comes from your own culture. You want to convince the world that somehow hip hop is your culture as well, and you had something to do with the creation. You're living in a fantasy. I reject your deposit. Now get your weak ass up out of the closet. Take 10 seats, sit down, and maybe you can learn something.
People being okay with all Mexicans being called racial slurs, that's pretty wild. It's pretty wild for people to demand an apology when they don't demand one from Charleston White. When they don't check him and tell him, hey, man, you can't just be going after a whole community like that. So,
see, a lot of Mexicans, this is why I disagree with Compton Rick Rock. Now, I agree with Compton Rick Rock about not crashing out, but a lot of these Mexicans are disrespectful to our culture. They want to copy the culture, but they don't want to give credit to the people who created the culture. You guys make money off of something we created. We don't make money off of anything that you guys do. Everybody wants to make, listen, white people stole rock and roll. White people stole country music. Guess who created country music and rock and roll? Foundational Black Americans, the same way that hip hop came from our culture. It is time to eliminate these culture vultures. It is time to put these culture vultures on blast. I am sick of them. We're not going to tolerate people disrespecting us while using our culture to make money at the same time. We ain't going to stand for that. We're going to call out all of these culture vultures one by one. So when people see you in public, they're going to say, these people are disrespectful while copying Black culture. We're going to put all these people on blast. So everybody worldwide will know who the culture vultures are.
There were a lot of things that Compton Rick Rock had to say that I agreed with, just like a lot of his videos, man. I think that it would be really, really good if a lot of people from both communities watch that video, listen to what Compton Rick Rock had to say, and I think you'd walk away with a lot less anger, with a lot less animosity, and with more understanding. I think that's what that video does, and I hope that there are other platforms that will come out from both communities and speak more level-headed. You know, it was It was a bad joke. It was a bad joke. But Lucky is nowhere near what Charleston White is. Charleston White, you can go and find, you could probably just Google or here on YouTube, type in Charleston White racist rant, and you could probably find a bunch of them talking about Mexicans. You can go over to Hoodstocks and you can see that he has had brothers on his live podcast and he's interacted with them and they joked. It can't be both ways, man. It can't be both ways. It's cool when Charleston White does it, and
Nobody said it was cool when Charleston White does it. The black community don't agree with Charleston White. He disrespects us. He disrespects us every chance he gets. He disrespects everybody. He does it for money. He knows he's going to get the clicks. He knows he's going to get the views. So he disrespects any and everybody to make money. That's what he does. Charleston White doesn't fall under any structure. If Marvelous Inc. don't speak for the Raza Mexican community, then Charleston White don't speak for the black community. Because when Marvelous Inc. pulled up to the Viral Way podcast being disrespectful, saying, you don't want this war, homie. We did hip hop together. When he came up there saying all that foolishness, you know what Mexican said? Mexican said he don't represent the Raza or the Mexican community. You know what I said? I said, cool. I'm going to take y'all word for it. Mexicans emailed me. Mexicans was in my comment section saying, Red, Marvelous Inc. don't speak for the Raza Mexican community. I didn't argue with them. You know what I said? Okay, cool. I'm going to take your word for it. So I'm going to say this again. Charleston White does not speak for the black community. Charleston White speaks for himself. He speaks for himself.
Laugh about it. But then let's be in arms and mad when it's done from the community that he's targeting with his hate speech. When somebody from that community says something, then, oh, hell nah. Hell nah, this ain't cool. This ain't right. Something else that Compton Rick Rock had to say, and it's, you know, he was reacting to what Spody Face had to say, but he directed it towards everybody on YouTube and everybody in social media. When Spody Face said, let's get in the ring and let's get a bag. And he said, and I agree with it 1,000%. People on YouTube need to stop thinking they're celebrities, man. We put out some videos, we put out some content, and if we're lucky, people support.
You can be a celebrity. What's the definition of a celebrity? Hollywood creates celebrities. If you're known worldwide and people watch you, you can become a celebrity from YouTube. We can't say that somebody is a celebrity because Hollywood and white people stamped them. Stop letting white people dictate what a celebrity is. So you got to go through these mainstream channels to be a celebrity? Nah, homie, that ain't true. You know, you ain't got to go through those same channels, those mainstream platforms to become a celebrity. Because when you go through those mainstream platforms, they're going to control and censor everything you say. So we're not going to let mainstream society dictate what a celebrity is. But I get what you're saying, Does. Don't get it twisted for 1 second. I get what you're saying, bro. Make sure that you guys hit the like button. It ain't nothing. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you show some love to the content in a major way. We're gonna get into the Compton Rick Rock video. We got 2 more minutes left of this video. After the 2 minutes is gone from this video, we're gonna dive into the Compton Rick Rock video, and we're gonna see what Compton Rick Rock had to say about these Mexican and black issues in Los Angeles, Southern Cali, however you want to have it.
And they enjoy our channel, they enjoy our content, and that's it. All that, you know, but the flip side of that is I'm glad that Spody Face was saying, hey, this don't have to.
You don't see black people saying we created YouTube, you idiot. This is how dumb you are. I haven't heard one black person say we created YouTube. We created YouTube 50-50. Nobody has said that, you dummy. I know you lack common sense. I know you lack brain cells. You haven't heard one black person on YouTube say that black people created YouTube. Shut up, dummy.
It turned into nothing big. He just felt like, hey, I feel disrespected and I want to get down and then I like what Lucky had to say too. Lucky straight up said, hey, nobody dictates my program, where I'm gonna go, what I'm gonna do, where I'm gonna get down with somebody and all that. But I sincerely hope that no violence occurs because of this one incident. And like I said, I really hope this is the last video I'm going to be putting out about this in the end of the week. It's Friday. I'm going to end the week with this. And hope that this weekend everybody has a great time, a safe time.
Let me show you how dumb this person is. It wouldn't be a problem if Latinos did hip hop and they paid homage to who created the culture and music. Nobody would have a problem with that. But you don't see black people claiming that we created YouTube. We're not saying that. So it shows that you lack brain cells and critical thinking skills because you're an idiot. You're an idiot. That's what you are. You got Latinos trying to say, we was there from the beginning. We deserve credit. How do you deserve credit in something that you had nothing to do with? You had nothing to do with the creation. Participation and creation are two different things. Latinos want to take credit for helping us to create hip hop, and it's the furthest thing from the truth. Latinos had nothing to do with the creation. Participation, yes. Creation, no. But you don't see black people running around saying we created YouTube 50-50. We created YouTube. You don't hear black people saying that. YouTube is a platform that we use to get our voice out there, to get our message out there. But not once have you heard any black person say that we created YouTube 50-50 with the white man. Shut up, fool.
And, enjoy yourself. Nothing comes of it. Straight up, man. I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. But again, before I go, make sure you guys go over to Compton Rick Rock TV and you guys watch the video that he put out today regarding this issue. So that's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell.
And shout out to Dubs, man. Dubs wasn't disrespectful. He was very, I respect it. I respect it. I ain't got to agree with everything he said, but overall, I respect it. Let's get into Compton Rick Rock. Now, let's see what the OG Compton Rick Rock had to say about black and brown issues. Hit the like button. It ain't nothing. Gotta love that intro, man. Compton Rick Rock got one of the hardest intros on YouTube. Shout out to Compton Rick Rock for the dope intro, man.
We'll talk about this.
That's hard right there, man. Shout out to the OG Compton Rick Rock. That intro is hard.
Man, we gonna talk about this as an OG from these YouTube streets. It's a must that I break it down for y'all. We're gonna get straight to this. I've been seeing a topic that been lingering here in the YouTube streets for a couple of days. I just haven't had time to react to it. But today, we gonna react to it and spit it so y'all can get it. I've been seeing this Mexican and black thing. It seems like it's an issue here on YouTube because when I go outside in the streets, ain't no issues in the streets, man. I've been waving and saying what's up to people, man. I've been pulling up on folks. I've been seeing Mexican homies.
I disagree with some of the things that Rick Rock said. 100%. But dive into the content and I'm going to speak on things from my perspective. But overall, there's no disrespect. We disagree, but there's no disrespect. Let's get into the content. Make sure that you guys bless the like button. It ain't nothing.
In the streets, I haven't seen what they talking about here on these YouTube streets. It seems like the guys on YouTube have more of a racial problem than anybody that's out here on the streets, man. Ain't nobody out here tripping in the streets, homie. So we're going to talk about what's going on and we're going to get in depth with it. I'm going to play this video that was sent to me a few days ago. I was actually tagged in this video on Instagram. And like I said, I really haven't had the time to really do what I do when it comes to these reactions. But what I will say this, man, let's just say the people that's here on the internet, the ones that's keeping up all the chaos with this black and Hispanic thing, these are the ones, if you on the internet and you talking reckless and you talking crazy, we're not going to pinpoint a whole group of people, because in every group of people, you do have the ones that's with the BS and the nonsense. And that's just a small group. The ones that's on the internet, if you have a problem, instead of you getting on the internet and making it seem like a problem, you need to handle these issues within yourself. Don't come up on this internet trying to start something. And for the people that's looking at these dudes that's doing it, yeah, these the ones who when you see them out there in the streets, and you see them out the real in the real world, you pull up on them. You pull up on them and you address them problems in the streets, man. Ain't nothing going on in the streets. At least I haven't seen nothing going on in the streets. I'm about to go out in a minute. I haven't seen.
Yeah, for the most part, you know, it ain't really no smoke. You know, ain't nobody trying to crash out. Ain't nobody trying to crash out over something somebody said on the internet. We're just having conversations, and we want to have an open dialogue to where we could share thoughts and share information. That's all it is. Ain't nobody ready to crash out over something somebody said on the internet. I mean, you got some people who will, but then again, those people are mentally unstable anyway. They're mentally unstable in the first place. Right? We're just addressing the disrespect. You don't see me making videos saying I'm gonna hurt somebody because I disagree with something they said. I'm not gonna crash out in real life over something that somebody said on the internet. If you don't mean me no, if you mean me no physical harm, I don't want to harm you physically. So I'm not emotional like that. But at the same time, I have the right to address something when I feel like somebody's disrespecting my people. Just like they'll address things when they see somebody disrespecting their people. Do you know that 100 Mexicans pulled up to No Jumper because Tyga made an Ay Caramba song? The Mexican community was up in arms because Tyga made a video saying, ay caramba, ay caramba. And the Mexican community felt so disrespected that they pulled up to No Jumper 100 deep because they got that emotional over a music video. Huh? You didn't see black people pulling up 100 deep to a Mexican platform because we was upset about something that somebody said?
Seen any problem, man. I was just with a Mexican dude a few days ago. We in there handling business in the stores, man, doing some, handling business. So I don't understand the problem.
Now, I get Compton Rick Rock angle. Compton Rick Rock wants to keep his fan base from all groups, so he's not going to say anything controversial about other races. I get it. I see his angle. I peep the game. King Supremacy. Hey, homie, I see it. I listen, homie, I can peep the play from 50 miles away, from 100 miles away. I could see the play. But Compton Rick Rock, let's be real, man. You got Mexican gangs in Compton who write NK on the wall. Long Beach is right down the street from Compton. You got Mexicans in Long Beach writing NK. So we can't say that we don't see these problems in real life. Mexicans in East LA firebomb black people apartments just for living over there. And you only had 5 black people who lived in a predominant Mexican community, the Ramona Gardens in East LA. So we can't say that we don't see this in real life. Maybe you're not running into that personally, but just because you're not running into these issues, it doesn't mean that it's not happening all over Southern Cali. So that's where I disagree with Compton Rick Rock. You got Mexicans in the Compton, the city you from, who are racist towards blacks who put NK on the wall. You might not have no problems with them personally right now, but we can't ignore what's been going on for decades in Southern Cali. We can't afford to ignore that. No, we can't.
That's going on, but we're going to definitely get to this content. We're spending too much time even talking about it in this intro. Before we get to this content, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Now let's go see what they're talking about. All right, so this is one of the videos that was sent to me. I haven't seen the entire video. It's plenty more out there pertaining to this. So let's get over here and see what they talking about. We're going to watch this together. Like I said, I haven't seen the entire video. So let's go over and check it out now. Let's go.
Man, the disrespect and the racism amongst the Southern California Mexican podcasters, this shit getting out of line, bro. Like it really is. Motherfuckers just blatantly just disrespecting the whole culture or demographic and expect nobody to speak on it or call them on their bullshit. But my whole thing about it is, if y'all hate black people so much, why you motherfuckers want to be like us so bad? And y'all I know it's gonna start controversy. Oh, we don't, yeah, y'all do. And this goes specifically to the Hispanics that proclaim to not like us but want to be like us so bad. It's a lot of Hispanics, there's a lot of Mexicans out there, man. Shout out to y'all, the real ones that respect our culture, respect our race, love black people.
I mean, I got to be real. Is Compton Rick Rock standing on FBA business? Now, he ain't got to subscribe to the movement, but by lineage, he is a foundational Black American. I want to get some feedback in the comments. Is Compton Rick Rock denying the racism out there just to have more Mexican followers and Mexican supporters? Is Compton Rick Rock keeping it real about Black and Mexican issues? Give me your thoughts on this. Now, I disagree with a lot of stuff that he said, but at the same time, there's no need to wage war or there's no need to be in your feelings or emotions. But you can address something without being in your feelings and emotions. But is Compton Rick Rock standing on Black business? Is Compton Rick Rock keeping it real about the Mexicans in Cali? Give me your thoughts in the comments.
Right. So he cleared it up. He said the podcasters. Good. So I guess it's a few podcasters that's on here. I did see something. We'll get to that. But I did see something on here and I did hear something on here. I didn't take it offensive. When I heard it, the main thing that came to my mind was they clout chasing. They trying to get them numbers up. They trying to do the Charleston White, the what you call that, the shock factor. I hear Charleston White say it all the time. He goes in on them. So now that they go in on us, it's like, man, no. We need to check Charleston White too, because he on here disrespecting them too. So when I look at it, and when I seen it, I already knew off the back what it was, what time it was. These dudes trying to get they numbers up. I just seen a dude on here, man. He was from up north, a Hispanic dude. He was very disrespectful to the Southsiders, and I guess I don't know what happened. I don't know what was the cause of it, what was the reason. All I know is I seen on here today he got unalived. Now I don't know who did what. We not saying who did what. It ain't my job. I'm just saying what I seen on here. He was unalived. So yeah, man, if it's the podcasters that's doing it, they got a responsibility. And a lot of these dudes is old. These not no young. These are old dudes on here, man. Dudes well in their 30s and 40s, still on here acting like kids, man. Let's go.
You know, that could coexist with us. And also, you know, they appreciate our culture. But my whole thing is with these weirdos is they throw rocks and then they hide their hand. Like if y'all want smoke.
Somebody said Black people march, they don't fight. If it wasn't for Black people, your people wouldn't have the civil rights that you guys have. Do you know that Mexicans, and I'm not saying this to be disrespectful, these are historical facts. Mexicans fought to be legally white. Latinos in general, a lot of them mark white in the census. So that's you embracing white supremacy instead of fighting against it. The only reason that people of color and all minorities have the civil rights that they have because foundational Black Americans was out here fighting for the civil rights that you had. The LULAC organization, and do your homework on the LULAC organization that represents Latinos, they fought to be legally white. We've never fought to be legally white. We understood what we was up against as Black Americans in this country. Your people, your civil rights leaders fought to be legally white. Your people have an alignment, a loose alliance with white supremacists in prison. You ain't never seen Black people. I don't care what state you go to in this country. We've never formed an alliance with white supremacists, but Southern California Mexicans have. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just giving you the facts. So if you want to talk about somebody not fighting, you need to look in the mirror. You can't fight against systematic white supremacy while fighting to be legally white at the same time. That's not going to work. You look foolish.
just say y'all won't smoke. Could coexist with us, and also, they appreciate our culture. But my whole thing is with these weirdos is they throw rocks and then they hide their hand. Like, if y'all won't smoke, just say y'all won't smoke, but don't take little pop shots.
If you don't believe me, look at the LULAC organization, the civil rights leaders for the Latino community. They fought to be legally white in the 1930s. They wanted to be accepted and embraced by white people because they said, we don't want to be treated like blacks. We're going to fight to be legally white. And once they realized that white people would never accept them, that's when they started saying we're brown and people of color to benefit from the civil rights movement. So if it wasn't for foundational Black Americans, Latinos, Africans, or no other group, no immigrants or no people of color would have the civil rights that they have today if it wasn't for foundational Black Americans who fought for it. But I get it. You don't understand history. You got a peanut for a brain. So I don't expect for somebody like you to have a deep understanding of history. You're just trolling in the comment section.
People calling us. But my whole thing is with these weirdos is they throw rocks and then they hide their hand. Like, if y'all won't smoke, just say y'all won't smoke. But don't take little pop shots, people calling us African booty scratchers and all that. Like, what's up with that, bro? Y'all swear y'all hate black people, but want to be like us so bad.
All right, that was something that I did hear. Like I say, when I heard that, I looked at it as somebody trying to get their numbers up. But that person got.
Will you ever admit that Mexicans also fought to be legally white? A lot of Latino mark white in the census. You'll never admit that. You don't want to admit that. But you did fight to be legally white. You did.
To deal with that when he go out there in society and he see a couple of people that feel offended. They're going to be the ones that's going to crack him upside his head. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that gets on here and disrespects somebody, that's something that they're going to have to deal with when they walk outside their door. That's just what it is, man. And yeah, man, sometimes you can't pay some of these people no attention, man. You got to let it pass by you, let it keep going. And when nobody pay attention to it, it don't get no attention. But when you give it traction and you give it attention, now you done gave it life. Because now what's about to happen is they really about to run with it and have fun.
Stop trying to rap. Stop putting earrings in your ear. Stop getting designs in your hair. All this, I could go so on and so forth. Stop listening to rap music. Stop dressing like us. Stop wearing Jordans. Like, all of that are all part of our.
That's not gonna happen. Listen, that ain't part of nobody's culture, man. We do it. Everybody do it. Man, we should be, matter of fact, we should be happy somebody want to look like us and be like us and act like us. If that's the case, we are evolving as a people, man. Ain't nobody trying to sit back and wear them old school khakis all day in them and Chuck Taylors and all that, man. People want to
get that, but at least pay homage to the people you got it from. You can't disrespect Black people while copying everything we do. You know, making music that comes from our culture so that you can make money. So at the same time, we got to check the disrespect. I get it. They don't want to wear khakis. They don't want to do none of that stuff. I get it. But at the same time, it is a must that we check the disrespect. You're not going to make money off of our culture and think that we're not going to say anything about it. That's not going to happen.
Fly now. Yeah, man, the girls like it.
We made all that pop. Stop wearing designers. Stop wearing chains. Like, so on and so forth. Again, man, shout out to all the real Mexican and Hispanics that really fuck with us and really appreciate our culture. I fuck with y'all. But to the ones who act like they racist and don't like us, stop acting like us.
Yeah, if he got a point there. If you is racist and you on here acting like a black, you talking like a black, but you racist, yeah, that ain't cool, man. You're gonna have to find you a whole nother swag. You can't talk about somebody and at the same time you imitating them. That ain't cool, especially if you call yourself not liking them as a people. If you don't like them as a people, but you on here imitating them, yeah, he got a point with that right there.
Stop acting like us. Say y'all won't smoke. In particular, this clown ass nigga Lucky from Hood Stocks. What's up with you, bro? Yeah, I push peace, but I don't tolerate disrespect. So on behalf of me and my people, set that up. I need that. You a big guy, I'm a big guy. Let's do that. You hold it down for the Rasa, I'll hold it down for the Africans, bro. Don't turn it down. Let's get a bag up out of it, man. Let's show people young.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Let me put some realism in it. No. That ain't how this work. That's not how this go, man. It don't go for being upset over the disrespect, but want to get in the ring to get some money. And I don't got nothing against this, and I don't care what nobody got to say. I'm doing.
This is why I disagree with Compton Rick Rock. What Lucky from Hood Stocks did was a play to get money. He knew he would go viral saying something disrespectful. So if you ain't got a problem, if you ain't got a problem with Lucky disrespecting us to go viral, why would you have a problem with Sporty Face saying we can get in the ring and fight about it? Therefore, ain't nobody got to go to jail. Ain't nobody got to get shot. Ain't nobody got to get jumped. We can go one-on-one and settle this like men. That's where I disagree with Compton Rick Rock. So if you ain't got a problem with Lucky going viral on the internet, because please believe Lucky made a lot of money off of that video. So if Lucky can make money off of a video disrespecting us, why would you be mad at Sporty Face saying, okay, we can get in the ring one-on-one and we can both get paid and ain't nobody got to go to jail. Ain't nobody got to get shot or jumped. Come on, Compton Rick Rock. Because Lucky's making money off of Lucky made money disrespecting us with that video. So why is it a problem that Sporty Face saying we can go one-on-one and get paid? And ain't nobody got to go to jail. Ain't nobody got to get shot. Ain't nobody got to get jumped. So what's wrong with Sporty Face saying let's get in the ring? That's where I disagree with Compton Rick Rock.
But I don't tolerate disrespect. So on behalf of me and my people, set that up. I need that. You a big guy, I'm a big guy. Let's do that. You hold it down for the Rasa, I'll hold it down for the Africans, bro. Don't turn it down. Let's get a bag up out of it, man. Let's show people young.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Let me put some realism in it. No. That ain't how this work. That's not how this go, man. It don't go for being upset over the disrespect, but want to get in the ring to get some money. And I don't got nothing against this, and I don't care what nobody got to say. I'm doing a reaction video. It's my opinion. A grown man shouldn't even feel no type of way about this. A female should feel some type of way about somebody.
No, you can't say that because guess what? Mexicans got mad at the Ay Caramba video. You didn't say Mexicans was acting like females because they wanted to pull up to No Jumper 100 deep because they was mad at Tiger's Ay Caramba video. So we can't criticize black people when nobody was more offended than Mexicans. They pulled up to No Jumper 100 deep over a video that Tiger made. And Mexicans has firebombed the apartments and houses of black people just for living in their communities. They want to be a part of our culture so bad so that they can make money off of our culture. All I'm saying is this, Compton Rick Rock. If you're going to say that this is emotional, how come you didn't call those Mexicans emotional for pulling up to No Jumper 100 deep because they were so offended about Tiger's Ay Caramba video? Ay Caramba. You got to let that R roll. You got to let that R roll, man. You did. You know what I'm saying? Nobody called the Mexican community sensitive for pulling up to No Jumper 100 deep over Tiger's Ay Caramba video. Mexicans has fired, but you got listen. The Hawaiian Gardens gang has firebombed black people apartments and houses just for living over there. In East LA, it's happened more than once. It happened in 2014, and if you go back to the 90s, it happened back then. You got Mexican gangs who are known for attacking black people just for being black. Black people, they're known for attacking black folks for just living in their communities, these predominant Mexican communities. So how can Mexicans firebomb the houses of blacks just for living in their community, but they get offended over a video, Ay Caramba? But they want to be in our culture to make money off of it, but you get offended off of a video and you pull up to No Jumper 100 deep. Come on, Rick Rock, you got to be real about this. You can't say that's sensitive without calling the Mexican community sensitive for pulling up to No Jumper 100 deep. I didn't see nobody saying, oh, Mexicans need to stop being sensitive. Why pull up to No Jumper 50 or 100 deep? Why make all this noise about the Ay Caramba video when Mexicans have firebombed black people apartments just for living in their community? Nah, homie.
Minute, whole lot of some realism in it. No. That ain't how this work. That's not how this go, man. It don't go for being upset over the disrespect, but wanting to get in the ring to get some money. And I don't got nothing against this, and I don't care what nobody got to say. I'm doing a reaction video. It's my opinion. A grown man shouldn't even feel no type of way about this. A female should feel some type of way about somebody saying something and getting in their emotions. No, a man should be like, man, I ain't tripping over what the nigga, what he talking about, man. That's just his opinion. But no, if you feel some type of way, it ain't no getting up in no ring for no bag. We not doing that. We don't want money that bad.
Why you think Lucky said what he said about us? To get a bag, Compton, Rick Rock? Lucky knew he would go viral over the disrespect. He went viral disrespecting us. And guess what? He got money doing it. He got money for that. So if you ain't mad at Lucky getting money for disrespecting us on the video, why have a problem with Sporty Face saying, let's get paid to take a fade? Mano y mano, one-on-one, we can catch a fade and both get money. So why have a problem with that? If you ain't got a problem with Lucky disrespecting us so that he can make some money, so that he can go viral. Come on, Compton, Rick Rock, man. You got a platform. You're an OG. You can't call out Sporty Face for wanting to get paid if you're not going to call out Lucky for getting paid over disrespecting us in his video so that he could go viral. Nah, bruh.
If you disrespecting, you disrespecting. And when you get caught in public, that's just going to be what it's going to be. Man, remember you said that? Pow, crack him upside his head. He didn't know where it came from, but it ain't getting up in no ring for no money. No, it don't work like that, man. That's crazy, man. I was paying attention to it. And I'm listening, but nah, we got to stop that, man. We got to stop thinking that we celebrities and we got to go get in these rings, man. F that ring, man.
I'm saying we could do the things the non-violent way, homie. Hand-to-hand combat, MMA style. Because not only I want to put my hands on you, I want to put my feet on you as well. You real disrespectful over a camera. Put the bag up. We got the bag over here. Mano a mano. Mano, bro. We don't need no make this no race thing, no.
Do y'all feel that Rick Rock is pandering to the Mexican community? Because Rick Rock, if it's okay for Lucky from Hood Stars to make money over the disrespect, and Sporty Face saying, I'm not even disrespecting your community, let's get in the ring for a bag. Sporty Face didn't disrespect the Mexican community. He said we can get in the ring to get a bag and we can go one-on-one to settle this. Why have a problem with that? Lucky from Hood Stars made a lot of money because that video went viral with him disrespecting us. But I didn't see Compton Rick Rock saying, hey, man, hold on. You're using us for content. You're using us to make money so that you can go viral. I got a problem with that. So don't have a problem with Sporty Face saying, I want to get some money from getting in the ring with you. Nah, man, I don't know, man. This is where I disagree with Compton Rick Rock. If it's okay for the Mexicans to make money off of us, why is it a problem for Sporty Face saying we can both get paid? Because guess what? Let me show you why I disagree with Compton Rick Rock. Lucky from Hood Stars is a representative of the Southsider community. He's a Southsider. If things hit the fan, the Southsiders going to back his play. They're going to back him up. Lucky made money off of that video. Black people didn't make money off that video. Sporty Face said me and Lucky can get paid to get in the ring. So that means Lucky gets paid and Sporty Face gets paid. So why have a problem with that? But you ain't got a problem with Lucky getting paid for disrespecting us, and black folks don't make no money tolerating the disrespect coming from Lucky. Sporty Face said we can both get paid to get in the ring. Why have a problem with that, my brother? That's all I'm saying.
No game, they know nothing. I'm calling you out. Get in the ring with me or get on the mat with me. However which way you want to do. I just want to put my hands and my feet on you.
Well, he did. He got a point there. He upset about this. Man, y'all go over there to Sporty Face. Y'all go watch the rest of this. This is Sporty Face page right here. You only got a couple of videos up. All right, man. I see you working. Let's get to it. Now, who we say, man? Lucky from Worcester. Let me type him in. Let me see, man. Hoodstock, I guess. This is him right here. Let me go find out what the big old deal about this is. Where can I find him at, man? Where is he at? Where is he at? Where is he at? This was 7 hours ago. Oh, that's catching. That's cheating on his wife. Oh, this dude got a whole lot of stuff going on. All right, let's go check out this video. I guess this is Gunner's page. Let's go check it out, see what's going on.
Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it. You already know. Like a torta with.
Like I said, the black community didn't make no money off that video. right now. We might make money responding to it. We'll make money responding to it, but guess what? It's not a lot of black people who are standing up and making content about this. A lot of your LA black podcasters are just, well, I really don't want to say nothing. I don't want to offend anybody, right? So they really won't say anything. You got a few people you got a few LA people that's speaking up. Viral Way podcast, Bobby Ye spoke up. I spoke up. And Damian Porter spoke up and said something about it. And, a few other people spoke up and said something about it as well. But the problem in LA is this. We put gangbanging over our blackness, and that's a major problem. That mentality has came back to bite us in the ass. It's came back to bite us. Putting gangbanging over your blackness has came back to bite us in the ASS 100%. Stop putting gangbanging over your blackness. That's what blacks in Los Angeles got to stop doing.
Some bad habits. Bye. This is a good one. Let's get to that intro. Direction of the dope content that I stay kicking, and I appreciate the support. I'm very humbled. You are now rocking with the gun. You gotta love it, right? So Lucky from Hoodstocks is taking straight up boom, boom, boom. Shots everywhere, man. And Spody from the Fodies, right, has decided to jump into the social media circus. And you know what? Let it be known exactly what time it is and call out Lucky from Hoodstocks for what Lucky said on his podcast about the African. And we're not going to say.
Make sure that you guys bless the like button. It ain't nothing. Get the likes up and support the show in a major way, man.
Say the rest of it, right? Because then
I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate you keeping it gangsta, man. That's how you do it. Respect, man. In order to get respect, you got to get respect. Let's get back to it.
I'll be the racist one. And I don't need that, man. It's his turn. It's Lucky's turn, right? It's his turn to feel the wrath of the brothers, man. You know what? And I'm not going to sit here and defend Lucky's actions whatsoever, period. I love his podcast. I love what he's trying to do in Southern California. I understand who he is and what he's all about. Okay, but at the same time, I understand the brothers are highly agitated and very upset right now, and they have every single right to be. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to make this controversial and say, damn, Gun, I thought you was going to protect the raza. Well, first and foremost, that's a fact. But wrong is wrong and right is right. And in this case...
Well, of course, Gunner loves soul music, man. Gunner kept it respectful. I don't have a problem with Gunner. He kept it respectful. He just spoke on things and he laid it down the middle. So, salute to him. Can't be mad at Gunner. He didn't disrespect us. You know what I mean? Can't be mad at Dubs. He didn't disrespect us. I'm just speaking on these race issues in general. I have no hatred for Dubs. I have no hatred for Gunner. I'm just calling out the disrespect as I see it. That's all I'm doing. Don't mean that I want to crash out about it. Don't mean that I want to harm somebody over something they said on the internet. I'm just addressing the disrespect. That's all I'm doing.
Lucky was very wrong. The things that he said, and I'm sure he's a man and he'll stand on that because that's his character and that's what he does, but he's going to need to stand on that because the black community, the African-American community, the Africanos, the brothers, they are riled up right now and they're feeling some type of way about Lucky from Hoodstocks. Now, for you, those of you that have...
Now, what I would say is how come we only got 175 likes? We got 300 plus people watching and only 175 likes. There's something wrong with that picture. There's something wrong with that picture. A lot of you FBA brothers, some of you come through. A lot of you guys have fell off, even though I come with the hard-hitting content. And I speak from experience. A lot of you guys in the FBA community are talking about Africans because you're seeing Tariq Nasheed do it. And it's trending right now to talk crazy about Africans. I got my own mindset. I got my own platform. I don't jump on the bandwagon. I speak about things from my experience. A lot of you guys ain't even never been into it with no Africans, but some of you guys are just making content going in on Africans because it's profitable. So I got to call out some of my people as well for jumping on a bandwagon because this conversation is a hot topic. Let me argue with other black people from Jamaica or Africa because I've seen Tariq Nasheed do it. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed because at least Tariq Nasheed is original. A lot of you guys are carbon copies. You want to argue with tethers and Africans all day. I get it. If Africans disrespect us, I made videos about Africans, but you don't see me talking about African tethers every day. Right? That's the reality. A lot of people create content because they understand they can make money doing it. Can I really fault them for that? No, but if people can't see the play, then it is what it is. It's on you. A lot of people are doing content just to make money, and they never had these experiences. See, I've had a lot of experiences, some good, some negative when it comes to Mexicans. So I'm speaking from firsthand information. A lot of these guys are just talking about things that they see on the internet. A lot of these guys are just making content because it's a hot topic, but they never experienced this firsthand themselves. So I can see through the phoniness.
Not been watching the internet lately and don't know what happened. Lucky from Hoodstocks is a very, very powerful podcaster in Southern California when it comes to the Raza community. Now, at the same time, you need to understand this. Lucky himself is not a brown man. Lucky himself is actually a Russian Jewish man. Okay.
Oh, they done threw him under the bus. They done threw him up under the bus already, but at the same time, man, he banging, he represent what he represent. Now, they done already agreed that he wrong. So now y'all see why Spody Face have a right to be upset. He one of the ones that's upset. Me, if I would have seen that, like I said, I would have knew exactly what time it was when it come to this. And when I see you in person, I'm gonna have a conversation with you. Hey, you remember that comment that you said? Yeah, you still feel that way today? You know, I would have that conversation when I seen, because like I say, when you give it life, when you speak on it, when you talk about it, it's gonna make the ratings go up. If it's a money game, you gotta chop the money down. Don't speak on it. Don't talk about it. Don't give it life. Let it just fade away.
That happens to be in association allegedly with Mexicans and Mexican gangs. Okay, does that make him, does he get a pass for this? Does that make him, oh, this doesn't count for him? He's not fucking, representing the raza. Absolutely not.
Lucky is not Mexican, man. He's a Russian Jew, but he's from a Mexican gang, so he speaks for the raza. If you ever listen to Lucky videos, he says he makes content for the raza. So you can't say that he's not Mexican when he speaks for the raza. He makes content for the raza community. So you can't separate him from that. Charleston White is a lone wolf. Charleston White don't belong to no organization. He don't speak for black people. Charleston White speaks for himself. Charleston White is a renegade. Charleston White is a troll / renegade. He will say anything to get paid. Lucky belongs to an organization. Lucky belongs to an organization that represents the Mexican community. Charleston White don't belong to anything. Charleston White don't have loyalty to anybody. Charleston White don't even have loyalty to his own people. Charleston White will disrespect the black community if he can make money doing it.
If you're around a whole bunch of brown people, if you're from a brown gang, man, best believe if something was to pop off between the blacks and Mexicans or the whites and Mexicans or anyone else in a Mexican, I guarantee that Vato's going to stand on what he believes in, and that's that Mexican power right around him. And that's just the facts. So Sporty Face from the 40s, who's a African-American man, has decided to call Lucky out behind what Lucky said. Okay? Now, I get it. I don't knock it. I don't hate on it. You know, I guess we're going to see where Lucky stands in this situation. If he's going to stand 10 toes down for what he said, because regardless of why he said it, regardless of what he was, the point he was trying to get across, I understand he was trying to be funny. It was trying to come off as comedy, but I have a whole different theory. And I'm going to let you guys know.
Right. Charleston White got kids with a Mexican woman. Charleston White kids are half black and half Mexican. So it shows you that Charleston White is just trolling, disrespecting everybody for money. Charleston White don't stand on anything. He don't stand for anything. He can say things that are true, but at the same time, Charleston White has no integrity. He'll say anything for money. How you gonna talk crazy about Mexicans, but your children are half Mexicans? That shows you how full of crap Charleston White actually is. Charleston don't stand for nothing.
Theory, and you tell me if it gels with what you're thinking. But he said what he said. And of course, the line that he said was taken from the movie Boys in the Hood. And he utilized that line to basically.
Yeah, I don't know why Compton Rick Rock said there's no racism in the streets. You know, he's not being honest about that. You know, there's Mexican gangs in Compton who ride NK. There's Mexican gangs there's Mexican gangs in Compton who attack black people just for being black out of their hatred for black people. Next door in Long Beach, because Long Beach is next door to Compton. You got Mexican gangs like the Lungos who ride NK. There's been firebombings in Mexican communities when they firebomb black people's houses just for living in their communities. Now, just because Compton Rick Rock might not experience it doesn't mean that it's not happening in Southern Cali.
Say black person. And I know some people just laughed it off. It was like, it's not a big deal. But when it comes from a different ethnicity, brothers are going to feel some type of way, right? But also, when you have brothers running around saying beaner or the WB word or Mexican, the Mexicans are going to feel some type of way. The raza is going to feel some type of way. And
All right, man. Y'all can go over here to Gunner's page, man, and watch the rest of this. It seems like both of these cats, all of them got a point that they trying to get across. Basically, it's all about disrespect and respect. I guess this guy Lucky from Hood Stocks disrespect the whole black community. And like he said, it's also brothers that's on here that disrespect the Hispanic community, the Mexican community. You know, sometimes we say Mexican. That's how we say it. They might take it as disrespect, but that's how we say it, man. That's the slangs. Like you ever heard somebody say from the South say screek? They can't say street, they say screek. It's just like that. But anyway, man, it's all about respect at the end of the day, man. We don't need all this, man. We're going into a new year. And a lot of these dudes on here, all of us, man, we old enough to understand that a lot of this stuff that we doing is just not cool, man. So, you know, in order to get respect, give respect. It ain't about who the toughest, who the baddest. We on here creating content. And if this is a way that you got to get your money, and it's up to you, man. If you want to get unalive over something that you said crazy on the internet, that's on.
If you're willing to serve life in prison because you're so offended about something that somebody said on the internet, then go ahead and crash out. You're the dummy. You're going to be in prison with men all day with no women, no freedom. Can't take a shower by yourself. You got to take a shower with men. Can't go to the refrigerator anytime you feel like it. You can't wake up in bed next to a woman. Who wants to live in prison with a bunch of men all day, man? I don't. So I'm not going to crash out over something that somebody said on the internet. I'm not sensitive like that. I'm not emotional, but I will address the disrespect. Anyway, man, let's get back to the content, though.
You, like I said earlier, I seen a dude on here that was disrespecting a group of people. I seen him here today. He not here no more. We don't know if that was the reason, but things like this happen. You know, we got to stop supporting channels and stop supporting people that's disrespecting other races, other cultures, man. We got to start canceling them. You get on here and you disrespect another group of people, let's just cancel them. Get them out of here. Don't support their channel. Unsubscribe from their channel. And that's.
Well, at the same time, people could say we could cancel people who ain't standing on blackness, who ain't standing on business. I'm not telling you to cancel anybody. I'm not telling y'all to go out there and cancel anybody. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is this. Now, a lot of blacks in LA, unfortunately, they put gangbanging before their blackness. There's way too many of us who do this. There's a whole lot of us who do that. Well, if it ain't happened to my homies, I don't care. How many brothers went out there to East LA to settle the score with Mexicans for firebombing the houses of random black people? I didn't see Mexican podcasters speaking up on that. I didn't see Mexicans calling out their people for firebombing black people apartments and houses just for living in their communities, predominant Hispanic neighborhoods. I never seen Mexican podcasters call their people out for anti-black racism. Nuri Martinez and Kevin DeLeon, the LA City Council, was calling black people monkeys and saying all type of crazy stuff about us. Why? Because they've been talking like that about us behind closed doors. I didn't see Mexicans call out their people for being racist towards blacks. They said nothing. They rolled with it. They didn't say anything. I didn't see Mexicans DP their people for firebombing the apartments of black people for living in East LA. I didn't see Mexicans say, okay, we got to discipline our people for that. They said nothing. But you got the Hoovers, who DP'd their homie on video for robbing the elote man. Now, I disagree with that. The Hoovers should have never disciplined their people on camera to please Mexicans. They should have never done that, because Mexicans have never disciplined their people on camera for disrespecting black people. You've never seen it happen. So I feel like the Hoovers was way off code for disciplining their people for robbing that elote man. Mexicans rob vendors in their community. Mexicans extort other Mexican businesses in their community. That's hypocrisy. You know how many Mexican vendors get extorted by Mexican gangs and barrios? It happens all the time. But you want black people to discipline or DP their people on camera to please y'all because he robbed a Mexican vendor? Man, that's crazy. If we can't tell Mexicans what to do in a hood, they can't tell us what to do in our hood. If you in our hood, you got money, then you might get got. Guess what? Black people get robbed every day, B. Black people get robbed in black neighborhoods every day, B. So why should we discipline our homies for robbing the Mexican in our community when we rob black people in our own community? That makes no sense. Think about what I just said. If we're not going to DP our homies on camera for robbing other black people, why would we DP our homies in the hood for robbing Mexicans in our community? Makes no sense. That looks weak on our part.
That's how you mess with that money. Oh, they'll get it right, man. Leave y'all thoughts in the comment section. It's Compton Rick Rock, Compton Rick Rock TV. I'll catch all of y'all on the next one. Like, comment, share.
That's all I'm saying, bro. So we're going to DP people for robbing a Mexican in our community, but we're not going to DP blacks for robbing other blacks in our community? Nah, man, that is a sign of weakness. I didn't like that, man. I disagree with that 100%. You know, I disagree with people preying on the weak. But at the same time, if we're not going to discipline our people for robbing blacks in our community, then we ain't got no damn business disciplining our people for robbing Mexicans in our community. That's all I'm saying.
And subscribe to the channel, Compton Rick Rock TV. Also, hit that notification bell and catch every video when I drop.
The like button, it ain't nothing. Come on, homie. I see through the foolishness 100%. I see through it. Shout out to Scoop for the Cash App. Shout out to King Judah. We should have way more people support this platform, because right here, this is organic. I don't say things for money. I say things because they're true. And if we get money, cool. If we don't get money, it's whatever. But I stand on business and I believe what I say. If we're not going to discipline black people for robbing other black people in our community, then we ain't got no damn business disciplining black people for robbing Mexicans in our community. That's all I'm saying. Come on, bro. Now, how many people agree with that? Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with that. If we're not going to discipline black people for robbing other black people, then we ain't got no business disciplining black people for robbing Mexicans in our community. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with that. Put a 2 in the chat if you disagree with that. We're going to discipline our people for robbing Mexicans, but we ain't going to discipline our people for robbing black people. Man, that's crazy. That is crazy. That's all I'm saying. Let's see what Seen the Life had to say.
You can get directly from me on.
Shout out to Chill from 16 to Life, man. I wanted to react to this. I know I repeat myself, but I gotta rub it in. I gotta rub it in so people can truly understand. If we're not gonna discipline black people for robbing black people in our communities, we ain't got no damn business disciplining black people for robbing Mexicans in our community.
On a digital download. If you interested, Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle me $20, and I'm gonna get it to you ASAP, man. Some stuff going on out here. It's him, man. So let's hop right up into his video.
Welcome back to the Swang Low Podcast Show. It is yours truly, Do-Rock Creek. What's happening with all my people out there in the free world today? It's an absolute pleasure to be back here at this round table amongst my round table family. Salute to all of y'all, man, for coming.
Now, real quick, man, I just want to say briefly that I done some time, man, and shout out to Creep, shout out to the Swang Low Podcast. I done some time with Creep back in '96, man. We was in Salinas Valley together on the D-Yard, and it's my understanding that he had already been in prison a couple of years since then. This whole entire time, man, he has been incarcerated, and I believe he has been on the level 4 the whole entire time, man, with the exception of maybe 7 months to a year. I think he went down to a level 3 for a hot second.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna do a whole video about that. I'm gonna do a live stream and a short video about that. So we'll DP our homies for robbing Mexicans in our community, but we're not gonna DP our homies for robbing blacks in our community. That is ass backwards. That makes us look weak as people. Straight up. Well, we gonna discipline our homies for robbing Mexicans in our community, but we ain't gonna discipline our people for robbing blacks in our community. That makes us look weak. I don't care what y'all say. I don't care who get mad about it. I don't give a damn why, because I'm telling the truth. That makes us look weak.
Has a unique experience to speak on situations like this regarding race and all this type of stuff, because we know that California prisons are some of the most racially divided and racial hate holding institutions that there are, right? So I just thought that it was important for me to point that out.
To this round table, you know, as I bring on another thing that's going on social media right now, you know, as a topic, you know, that has sparked many different conversations and debates back and forth, you know, and this has to do with the podcaster. I'm not even going to say his name, right? But
shout out to Lions Dollars for blessing the Cash App. Shout out to my girl Trinity for blessing the Cash App. Let's get some more of you people to support the show, because King Supreme gonna give you the facts. A lot of these guys talk about gang banging in prison all day. I don't care about none of that. You ain't standing on blackness, my bro. You ain't standing on blackness, bro. So we gonna DP our own people for robbing Mexicans, but we ain't gonna DP our people for robbing blacks in our community. Nah, homie, that looks scary. I ain't never seen no Mexicans DP their homies for disrespecting blacks. I've never seen that. Show me one video where Mexicans have DP'd their people on camera for disrespecting blacks. But the Hoovers, and I ain't got no problem with the Hoovers. I got a lot of love for the Hoovers. My cousin is from Hoover. So this ain't no disrespect to the Hoover. I'm just saying, man, we got to stand on blackness. We got to stand on FBA business. We going to beat up our people on camera for robbing a Mexican, but we ain't going to discipline our people for robbing our own people, for robbing other black people. We ain't going to discipline them for that, but we going to discipline them for robbing Mexicans. Man, this is crazy.
he was a Hispanic podcaster, or I'm not even sure if he's really Hispanic. However, you know what I'm saying? That's who he, you know, identify with. You know what I'm saying? But this dude went on his show and had a female on there by the name of Jenny69, right? And he was asking her a number of different questions, you know, about Blueface, if she thought he was sexy and hot, and would she ever date a black dude, and this and that. And he also went on to describe black people, Blueface, and whoever else associated with blacks as African booty scratchers, right? Now, that's a derogatory term, you know what I'm saying, that racists would use to describe a black person, you know what I'm saying? Now,
Now, this OG is in prison. The OG that you see speaking right here, he's in prison. He's speaking on this behind the prison walls. So salute to him for standing on business.
Everybody is up in arms about him saying that. You know what I mean? And I don't get it. I don't understand because I'm not up in arms about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I've heard worse said. You know what I mean? And people just brush it off. And when somebody make an issue about certain things that's said about another race, it ain't even got to be a Hispanic saying something crazy about a black. You know what I mean? But it can be anybody. It can be a black saying something crazy about a Hispanic, or a black saying something crazy about a white, or vice versa. It can be anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I've heard worse said about my skin complexion, my race, or culture. You know what I'm saying? I've heard a whole lot worse said, man. And my thing is this here. And also, there's a lot more going on in the world other than an idiot podcaster jumping out there disrespecting a race. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, he is insecure in who he is as a man. You know what I'm saying? For you to go the lengths and see, he did this while questioning.
The only thing I disagree with Hoover Gumby is we don't have to use derogatory terms to disrespect another group of people. We can address them using intelligence and common sense, but we ain't got to use racial slurs to get our point across. That's what I disagree with. Other than that, I respect Hoover Gumby, right? So when I say that, I'm pretty sure a lot of Hoovers didn't agree with them DPing their homies for them robbing a Mexican in their community. If we're not gonna DP our people for robbing blacks in our community, we ain't got no business DPing our homie for robbing Mexicans in our community. No, sir.
This woman, I'm saying, on if she was into black dudes or not, right? So that lets you know right there that he already has some type of insecurities about himself when he.
Do you think blacks in Atlanta would DP their homie for robbing a Mexican in Atlanta? No, they won't do that. And the Mexicans won't even think to even push that because there's so many blacks in Atlanta. So Mexicans would never try that. Oh, y'all got to DP y'all people because y'all robbed a Mexican in y'all hood. Blacks in Atlanta would laugh at that. Blacks in Detroit would laugh at that. Blacks in Birmingham, Alabama would laugh at that. Blacks in New Orleans, Louisiana would laugh at that. Blacks in St. Louis will laugh at that. Blacks in Philadelphia will laugh at that. So this is what I mean when I say it makes us look weak as blacks in Los Angeles, because if we're not going to DP our people for robbing black people in our hoods, and we ain't got no damn business DPing black people for robbing Mexicans in our hood, because guess what? Mexicans extort Mexicans in their hood all day. Mexicans extort vendors and Mexican businesses in their hood all day. But they want to tell us that we can't rob whoever we want to rob in our communities. And you got blacks who were crazy enough to discipline their own homies for robbing Mexicans in their own hood. That's crazy. Now, I don't condone it. I'm not saying what they did was right. All I'm saying is if we're not going to DP our homies for robbing blacks in our community, then we ain't got no damn business DPing our homies for robbing Mexicans in our community. I don't condone any of it. But I'm just trying to make common sense out of nonsense.
Compare himself to a black man for him.
God damn it, creep, cuz I'm telling you, man, you fist to make me start cripping again on some real shit. Hey, listen, man, do not let those powerful words go over your head, man. Creep said that this dude must be insecure as a man. Anytime you worried about who's fucking somebody that you don't even have a connection to, that is some weak ass
Somebody
shit.
said blacks only loud when deep. We could say the same thing about Mexicans. You don't see Mexicans in Atlanta trying to go to war with blacks because they don't have the numbers out there. You don't see Mexicans trying to go to war with blacks in New Orleans because they ain't got the numbers out there. You don't see Mexicans trying to go to war with blacks in St. Louis. They ain't got the numbers out there. You don't see Mexicans trying to go to war with blacks in Detroit. They ain't got the numbers out there. You don't see Mexicans trying to go to war with blacks in Baltimore, Maryland. Right? So what I'm saying is You can't show me one black majority city in America where Mexicans and Latinos want to go to war with blacks. So what does that say about Latinos? It's easy for Mexicans to go to war with blacks in Los Angeles because blacks are only 8% of the population in Los Angeles, and Mexicans are like 50% of the population or close to it in Los Angeles. So what does that say about them? Show me a black majority city where Mexicans are cracking off race wars with blacks. Show me one. You can't show me one because I've done the research. I've been across the whole country. I know what I'm talking about.
Homie, so this nigga, I mean, excuse me. This brother Creep, man, like I'm saying, he just gets me passionate, right? For many.
No, don't get it twisted. Blacks ain't scared of war. Blacks already went to war with Mexicans in Los Angeles. What I'm saying is we have a few incidents that don't make sense, but don't get it twisted. Blacks in Cali are not cowards. What I'm saying is at some point, some of us put gang banging over our blackness, and that's a major problem. You know what I mean? The Rolling 20 Bloods went to war with the Mid-City Stoners and the 18th Streets at the same time. The Venice Shoreline Crips in West LA went to war with the Culver City 13, the Venice 13, and Santa Monica 13. They went to war with 4 or 5 Mexican gangs at one time in West LA. The Venice Shoreline Crips. The Pyrus in Compton has went to war with Mexican gangs. The Crips in Long Beach. The Insanes in the 20s, they've gone to war with the Longos and, you know, the Mexican gangs in Long Beach. Don't get it twisted. The East Side Outlaw 20s and the 30 Pyrus have went to war with Mexicans on the East Side, the Low Bottoms, the East Side Trece, and other Mexican gangs. The Neighborhood Pyrus in Inglewood has went to war with the Inglewood 13s. So don't get it twisted for 1 second. Blacks have went to war with a lot of Mexican gangs in LA. First Street East Coast, the Aliso Village Projects. I used to go to the Aliso Village Projects back in the 90s because my homeboy Chaos, resting in peace, from my hood, from my neighborhood, his family lived in the Aliso Village Projects. And you had one gang in you had one black gang in the Aliso Village. That was First Street East Coast. They had beef with the Palmetto Flats, the Quattro Flats, the East LA Dukes. You know what I mean? The Magician Crew. They had beef with all the Mexican gangs in that community. It was only one black gang in East LA. Boyle Heights, East LA, the Aliso Village Projects. And there were many Mexican gangs in that area. The First Street East Coast Crips went to war with all those Mexicans in that community. And keep in mind, there was only one black gang. You had a small black population, and they had to go to war with all those Mexicans in East LA by themselves. The Durocs, if you go to the San Gabriel Valley, the Duroc Crips went to war with the Duarte 13 and the Monrovia 13s. Shout out to the Duroc Crips for standing on business, for standing on blackness. I got to give a shout out to the Duroc Crips in the San Gabriel Valley in the city of Duarte. So don't get it twisted. You got a lot of blacks who have went to war with Mexicans. What I'm saying is, I just want black unity to be stronger. I want more blacks to stand on FBA business. That's what I'm campaigning for.
This dude is speaking some of the realest shit ever spoke on this situation right here, man. That dude Lucky is just an insecure dude, man. Anytime you concerned with who's fucking someone else you don't even have a connection to, you don't even, I don't even know if he's met her, but if you're not in a relationship with her and you guys are not in each other's lives, what difference do it make who's fucking who? So to be concerned with somebody piping down somebody else just because that person may be a different color, gotta be insecure. Spit that shit, Creep.
Him to go to lengths to try to diss us. You know what I'm saying? By seeing the African booty scratcher thing to this one.
Shout out to the Black P Stones. The Black P Stones in the jungles ran the 18th Streets out of the jungles for trying to set up shop in their community, for selling dope in their neighborhood. Shout out to the Black P Stone Nation, the Biddy Stones and the Jungle Stones. Black P Stones are the ones who cracked off the war with the 18th Streets. 18th Streets tried to move in the jungles in the 90s, and they were selling dope. And the Black P Stones told them, hey, man, you can't do that over here. If you do it, it's a problem. 18th Street, they continue to do it. So Black P. Stone pressed the hard line and pushed them out of the jungles and went to war with them. Then right after that, 18th Street started writing BK. And by the 20s, being neighbors to Black P. Stones is like, hold on, now that you're writing BK, you involving all bloods. So some of that beef, the beef spilled over to the 20s because the 18th Street started writing BK once they got kicked out of the jungles by the Black P. Stones in the 90s. True story. So the Black P. Stones evicted the 18th Streets from their community, gave them the boot, and rightfully so. You can't go to MacArthur Park as a black gang and set up shop in 18th Street hood and sell dope. The Mexicans over there ain't gonna go for that. So if Mexicans ain't gonna let us sell dope in their community, they can't sell dope in our community. Shout out to the Black P. Stones for standing on business. They told the 18th Streets, you can't sell dope over here. This ain't your hood. And if you continue to do it, it's going to be a problem. And the Black P. Stones stood on business and they pressed a hard line on the 18th Streets and removed those Mexicans from their community. That's what happened in the 90s. I was there, homeboy, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm not speaking from second and third hand information. I was there, man. I was around when all that stuff was cracking off. From the 20s to the Black P. Stones, trust me, homeboy, I know what it is. From the mid-city stoners, all that. The Gear Gang Crips and West Adams went to war with 18th Streets eventually, and none of those West LA Crips helped the Gear Gangs when they went to war with 18th Streets. Gear Gang is a small hood. 18th Street is the largest Mexican hood in Los Angeles. I remember when the Gear Gangs went to war with the 18th Streets, maybe like in 06, 05, something like that. They used to be cool with one another, but eventually they fell out. And you know, eventually they went to war. Come on, homie, I'm speaking what I know. I'm not giving you second and third hand information.
Because she showed some type of interest in a black man. You know what I'm saying? In a sexual manner. You know what I mean? And that's what that dumb statement that he made was inspired.
There's no blacks in San Fernando Valley. It's easy. There's no blacks in San Fernando Valley. The black population in San Fernando Valley is small. That shit is like 80% Mexicans. You don't get no props for that. Show me a majority black city where Mexicans have went to war with blacks. You're not going to see that. Now, if these communities are majority Mexican, of course they can press a hard line when they got all the numbers. You don't see Mexicans going to war with blacks in the majority black cities. You don't see that. It's easy for Mexicans in the San Fernando Valley to go to war with blacks. Blacks are only like 3% of the population in San Fernando Valley. You don't get no props for that. When you're 70% of the population, it's easy to go to war with 3% of the population. That don't make you look tough.
Oh, soon as she showed interest in a black man, his thoughts instantly went to, oh, he's a threat. Black men are known for being, you know what I'm saying, extremely well endowed, and they get all the women, including ours. Why she gotta like him?
San Fernando Valley is probably like 70% Mexican and only like 3 to 4% black. You don't get no props for that.
Why she?
Man, listen, not too long ago, maybe a day or two after this topic came out, a Mexican dude left in my comments. He said, man, I believe he said my girl is black, but maybe not. But he said his girl had dated a black person. And he said, man, every time I think about it, pretty much, I'm paraphrasing here, it hurts me to the soul to know that that dude had that big old African instrument in my girl's sexual cave.
You can't stick over here with La Raza. And that's another thing. Why do anybody care about who people are into or not into? Do you know what I'm saying? Whatever your preference is, hey, I say go with it. Do your thing. Who cares? Because best believe what I'm into and what I have, I'm right where I'm supposed to be, who I'm supposed to be with, because that's what I'm into. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Miss Golden, by the way. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, to each his own. Whatever you into, go with it. Who cares? Who cares if this girl, but again, the ones that cares, the insecure ones that you know is mad because that black man, you know, is blessed, you know what I'm saying, by the gods, you know, to have something that's desired by the opposite sex, no matter what color. You got them that's blessed like that, and then you have them like that idiot podcaster that said that derogatory racist statement about black people that have shortcomings. Obviously, if you would go to length,
He said shortcomings, no pun intended.
to
Why? Well, listen, Sporty Face called Lucky out for a one-on-one fade. He said, you're not going to get jumped. You're not going to get shot. You ain't got to worry about going to prison. I don't know why Compton Rick Rock was against that. If Compton Rick Rock is not against Lucky saying things about us to go viral to make money, why would you have a problem with Sporty Face saying we can go one-on-one and both get paid? I don't see why Compton Rick Rock would have a problem with that. That don't make sense. So Lucky can disrespect us and go viral and make money, but when we respond to it, we're sensitive. But when Sporty Face said we can catch a fade one-on-one and both get paid, you got a problem with that? That doesn't make sense.
say such a stupid thing. And no, I don't take that situation and place it on all Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? And nobody should do that. Nobody.
Now, that's a very, very, very important thing right there, right? Like I said earlier, here's a brother, man, who has been incarcerated at least 30 plus years, man. I'm sure he has experienced things that could have made him bitter, could have made him angry, could have made him racial, could have made him a hateful person.
Dusty Vision TV, you got Musty Vision TV. He can't even go look at Dusty Vision TV's videos. He can't even get 1,000 video. He can't even get 1,000 views per video. You were irrelevant, man. Your channel was terrible. Dusty Vision TV got knee pads. He got on knee pads slurping up the Rasa community. Right? He got mailed. I ain't even gonna say that because I want to keep this monetized. But Dusty Vision TV is a pathetic. He's a pathetic individual. He's a disgrace to black people. Not once did Dusty Vision TV never called out the Mexican community for firebombing black people apartments in East LA, and the Hawaiian Gardens. He never said anything about that. When Mexicans got sensitive and went to No Jumper 100 deep over Tiger's Ay Caramba video, not once did Musty Vision TV call the Mexican community sensitive. Dusty TV tried to flip it and spin it and say that blacks were jealous because, well, somehow we were mad because of this old 50-year-old Latina didn't want to date black men. Nobody cared about that old washed up woman. She can date whoever she want to date. The reality of it is this. The Mexican community was mad at the fact that Jenny 6ix9ine was twerking on Blueface. And you've never seen Dusty Vision TV call out the Mexican community for being jealous crybabies. He never said anything about that. Musty Vision TV is a pathetic excuse for a black man. He never calls out the Mexican community for anything, but he got all the smoke in the world for the black community. You didn't see Musty Vision TV saying that American Cholo was being a crybaby for crying about Tiger's Ay Caramba video. You never heard him call the Mexican community out for anything. Musty Vision TV is pathetic. He's a poor excuse for a black man. He got his knee pads on, slurping up the Rasa on a daily basis, begging Mexicans for acceptance. He's a pathetic excuse for a black man. That's why nobody watches his channel. He did a video on Crit Mac and only got 100 plus views. And he got 44,000 subscribers. How pathetic is that? Don't get lost, Musty Vision TV. You are pathetic. You are a poor excuse for a black man. You are truly pathetic. Get up out of here, Musty Vision TV. You can't even get 1,000 views on a video and you got 44,000 subscribers. Your channel is garbage.
Man, but this dude is intelligent enough, regardless of all that he's been through. Because I heard him say, and I don't necessarily remember if it was Southerners that he was talking about or it was Northerners that he was talking about. But he said, I believe it was High Desert. He was sitting on the yard, minding his business. And
Musty Vision TV, don't address me about anything until you take those knee pads off and stop slurping the rasa for human DNA. You're slurping the rasa with knee pads on to get human DNA from the rasa community, begging for acceptance. You are poor excuse for a black man. You are truly pathetic. I'm doing you a favor by even addressing you with that weak ass garbage platform you got over there. You would think that all that caping he been doing for the Rasa community, he could at least get 1,000 views per video with 44,000 subscribers. You're truly pathetic.
Mexicans jumped up and rushed him with knives, man. So imagine this dude has been down 30 years. You know, he went to prison when prison was still prison. So he has been through a lot. He has seen a lot. He has participated in a lot. He's still on a level 4.
If Musty Vision TV went live right now, he'll have 10 people watching. Tell Musty Vision TV to go live. You're going to see 10 people in his live stream. When Musty Vision TV uploads videos, he get 100 views with 44,000 subscribers. Your channel is garbage. Your channel is hot garbage. And you got the nerve to think that you're going to kick knowledge. Ask Musty Vision TV how come he had nothing to say when the Mexican community was jealous over the fact that Jenny 6ix9ine was twerking on Blueface. He didn't call the Mexican community sensitive because they were jealous of the fact that Jenny 6ix9ine was twerking for a black man. He had nothing to say about the Mexican community when they had all this racial stuff to say about Blueface. When Blueface said nothing about them, all Blueface did was get a Mexican Latina to twerk on him. And Musty Vision TV had nothing to say about the Mexican community for being jealous about that. He's a buster. He's a sucker. He's a lame with no game. Musty Vision TV, you are finished. You are finished, Musty Vision TV. Musty Vision TV had nothing to say when those Mexicans was firebombing black people in East LA, when they were firebombing black people in the Hawaiian Gardens, when they were firebombing black people in the Canoga Park and San Fernando Valley. Musty Vision TV had no criticism for he had no criticism for the Mexican community. Musty Vision TV is a pathetic. He's a poor excuse for a black man. That's why nobody watches his weak content.
He's still in the GP. He ain't never, marked out when SNY. This dude has a real solid reputation, right? So he has been through a lot, but he has not let that experience, man, made him angry, made him hateful, and he is not going to let his experience.
I got 300,000 views on this channel in 1 month. Let me show you how goofy this game. Musty Vision TV, you a gang goofy Gilligan. I got 300,000 views, and this is a new channel. Let me show you how desperate and foolish Musty Vision TV is. This is a new channel. I barely started putting content over here. In the month of December alone, I got 300,000 views on a new channel. And I barely started creating content over here. 300,000 views in 1 month. What are you talking about? You're an idiot. You're a buffoon. You're an imbecile. You lack brain cells. You're a gang goofy Gilligan you's a gang goofy Gilligan who keep caping for those Mexicans. You got knee pads on because you continue to slurp up the Mexican community to get human DNA from Mexicans. You are truly pathetic. This is a brand new channel, and I got 300,000 views in 1 month, in the month of December. What are you talking about, Willis? Musty Vision TV, you are finished. Your channel is garbage.
Dictate how he delivers his message. I mean, he's gonna stay unbiased, and that's something that I extremely respect about this brother. He's not gonna let
Musty Vision TV can't deal with the facts. I got over 300,000 views in 1 month on a brand new channel. Musty Vision TV can't even get 1,000 views on one video, even when he's talking about Crit Map, even when he's talking about No Jumper. 44,000 subscribers and can't even get a 1,000 views on one video. When Musty Vision TV uploads a video, he get 200 views. He only got 100 views talking about Crip Mac. He only got 200 views talking about Munchie B. Musty Vision TV, you are finished. Your channel is garbage. You are truly pathetic. You are poor excuse for a black man. You're too busy with your knee pads on, slurping up the Rasa community for human DNA. Now get lost. Get lost, your dog and your body booty boy. Get lost.
The words of one idiot, man, cover a whole entire race, and I think that's what we failed to do. We failed to, leave the words with the individual who said it, and that's very important.
Everybody should do that. Place it on that idiot. Because to those of y'all that are working to unify the two races, you know what I'm saying? Nothing like that should be a setback on either side. If that's what's really in your heart and what you really trying to do and accomplish, then nothing like that by one dumb idiot should set y'all back. You know what I'm saying? That person that says it, that showed their hand, that's what they own, that's the type of timing that they own, them the ones that should be ostracized. Them the ones that we should immediately tackle.
I want all of y'all to go to Musty Vision TV and tell them, how come you never address those Mexicans for firebombing black people apartments just for living in their community? How come Musty Vision TV ain't never called out the Mexican community for their racism against blacks? He's too damn busy on his knees slurping up the Rasa community to extract human DNA. That's what he's over there doing. He's on his knees. He got knee pads on, slurping up the Rasa community for human DNA. That is what Musty TV Vision been doing for the last decade. He's on his knees, begging, slurping, looking to extract human DNA from the Rasa community. This dude got knee pads on. That's why he stay on his knees. Begging the Rasa community, please, on his knees, looking to get human DNA from the Rasa community. Musty Vision TV, you are finished.
All over and make sure that they can't get into no events, that they can't be invited to nothing. They get no recognition. Their voice becomes smaller and smaller the less recognition that they get. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. Which means we can't keep shining. Like, that's why I'm not seeing his name, although I'm seeing the people that was around at that time that was involved's name.
Musty Vision TV is a male Jezebel. He's a male Jezebel with knee pads on, slurping up the Rasa community for human DNA. The man is truly pathetic. He can't even get the Rasa community to support his platform. He can't even get 1,000 views with 44,000 subscribers. He is pathetic. His channel is garbage, hot garbage, and he got the nerve to want to kick knowledge.
So y'all can get if in case you don't know what I'm talking about, it's easy. Just go on YouTube and type in racist podcaster, African booty snatcher, some crazy stuff like that, and I'm pretty sure it'll pop in exactly who I'm talking about and what I'm talking about. I just don't want to say the person's name. You know what I'm saying? Because that gives even more. I mean, you're going to eventually, if you do go look up that video where he actually say that, then but it is what it is, man. I ain't got to say his name if I don't want to, period. You know what I mean? However, addressing that situation, I'm not mad about what the man said, because like I said, there has been things worse said than that, and people is not, you know what I'm saying? I look at it like this.
Shout out to Go Gadget for the super chat. Shout out to Desmond Hill for the cash app. Shout out to my girl Emily for the cash app.
Why is people so mad about him saying the African booty scratcher thing, but not mad at some of these other Hispanics that have jumped behind the camera and said blatantly that they are NK? But when there is an issue raised about somebody that jump behind the camera and say that they NK. We become the ones that's wrong. Oh, no. That's just a small portion of people that feel like that, or that's only right here. And you know what I'm saying? That's not a big deal. And what? How? But you have.
Man, once again, man, this is some of the most realest commentary ever even done on this topic, man. We'll get upset because the dude says African booty scratcher. And in my opinion, man, it was just a horrible attempt at a bad joke, right? But you know, regardless, people still get upset because they want me to be angry and they want me to be.
Okay, but Mexicans wanted their own version of the Million Man March. They went up to No Jumper 100 deep over Tyga's Ay Caramba video. They was very emotional. Let's pull up to No Jumper 100 deep because Tyga made an Ay Caramba video. Huh? Yeah. Ay caramba, ay caramba, ay caramba, ay caramba. Let's pull up to No Jumper 100 deep because Tyga made an Ay caramba video. And you talk about being sensitive, you talk about being emotional. But nobody called out the Rasa community for being emotional over that. Tyga disrespected the Rasa. He disrespected the Mexican community. We need to pull up to No Jumper 100 deep. What?
Upset and hold that same type of, you know, animosity that they have. But we have seen in recent times a dude get on here, a dude and a couple of other dudes get on YouTube and say that they are NK, meaning that they are killer of black people, stripped simply because they are black and nothing else. And we don't get as upset about that, man. It's just like, to me, homie, we are picking and choosing the wrong battles. And that's why I just thought that it was extremely important that his message gets sent out, man, because this dude is speaking some real stuff, man.
1,000,001 people that got something to say about this podcaster saying the idiot thing that he said about the African booty scratcher thing, right? So make it make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to, you know, understand what the politics of these situations are that keep, as far as the racial tension thing going. Like, where do everybody stand on this stuff? Like, and what are you supposed to stand behind? We stand behind the people that say that they NK, or we turn a blind eye to it? Do we turn a blind eye to, you know, somebody that openly tell you how they feel and think about you? Because I've seen a number of different situations and people, you know what I'm saying, jump out there and say something racist, and then a couple of months go by and next thing you know, I see them huggy, and you know what I'm saying, you know, all back in with black people, like that boxer. What was his name? Andy Garcia, something like that.
Ryan Garcia said a lot of disrespectful things about the black community. Listen, when Ryan Garcia said the disrespectful things that he said about the black community, you know what Oscar De La Hoya said? Maybe he was drunk. Maybe he was high, vato. Huh? Maybe he was drunk. Maybe he was high. Oscar De La Hoya made excuses for Ryan Garcia when he said a lot of racist things about the black community. I don't know. Maybe he was drunk. Maybe he was high. I don't think that Ryan Garcia was in his right mind, vato. Let's say. What? So we're going to look for every excuse that we can give Ryan Garcia for disrespecting the black community. Maybe he was drunk. Maybe he was high. The vato has a problem. What? Man, please. Maybe he was drunk. Maybe he was high. I don't know what's wrong with Ryan Garcia. It's anti-blackness. The racism is clear to see. We don't have to pretend like we don't know what it is. Maybe he was drunk. Maybe he was high. I don't know what was wrong with Ryan Garcia for disrespecting the black community. Man, please.
You know what I'm saying? He jumped behind the camera and said some of the most racist stuff in the world. And then, that was months ago. And now I see him in videos, you know what I'm saying, with blacks. Buddy. Yeah, hey, the world is a forgiving place. It is. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot more things going on in the world to be mad about other than giving this idiot that says something stupid shine. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Why y'all not up in arms and, these dudes shooting up kids' parties? There's no true shine on that situation. If y'all want to talk about something that matter that we all need, to understand and prevent from ever happening again, it's stuff like that needs to be talked about.
Hit me with a life is be that level forward depth and I'm not going to edit that out because I want to get this up as soon as possible. But more understanding of that situation is correct. So regardless of whether some of the dudes may have been of another race or nationality or whatever, the culture is rooted in blackness, Crips and Bloods. And then, of course, you had some Crips and Bloods involved and entangled in that beef, and you had black people lose their lives in that situation. So we are more upset as a people over words than over the loss of life. And that's all I was saying in the last video that I made, man. We worried about the goddamn wrong thing, man. We worried about the wrong shit. We need to be worried about coming together as a people, uniting as a people, man. Ain't y'all tired of seeing this shit? Y'all ain't tired of seeing black people killing black people just because his mama stay over there?
I've been speaking on this for a long time, 16 in life. I said we need to put blackness over gang business. I've been speaking about this. I've been tired of it. If anybody's been speaking out against black on black gang violence, it's King Supreme. I've been doing it for years on this platform. But the problem is people nowadays don't know real from fake, fraudulent from authentic. They don't understand the difference. They don't understand the real from fake, fraudulent from authentic. They don't understand the difference. I've been calling out my community. I've held my community accountable for I've been holding us accountable for years. We can't stand on blackness, but we're going to stand on gang business. So we can't stand on blackness, but we're going to stand on gang business. We're going to put gang banging ahead of our blackness. I've been calling out my people for that nonsense for years, ever since I've been on this platform. Putting gang banging over a black business. What's wrong with you fools?
And my mama stay over here. We worried about the wrong shit, man.
You know what I'm saying? But, and again, like, why are y'all so surprised when somebody of another race jump out there and say something crazy about blacks anyway, especially if they are associated with a gang of another race? Basically saying like a lot of the Southern Hispanics gang members are known for being racist. You know what I'm saying? And this dude affiliate with that crowd. So naturally he's going to have some type of, racist thoughts that come with him. So why is y'all are so, oh God, he said African booty snatcher, but y'all wasn't mad at Lefty Gunplay for saying, and with the craziest look on his face, that he would never, if ever in a million years, allow his daughter to date a black man. Where he come from, that is not accepted at all, period. It's just not going to happen. He said that, and he said that with the absolute craziest stern look on his face.
Great point, homie. And this is no shot whatsoever at Kendrick Lamar. But after he made that statement, he was allowed to be on one of the biggest records ever by arguably one of the best rappers on the West Coast. And so, it's crazy. Like I said, once again, man, we are worried about the wrong motherfucking shit.
Period. But he was speaking his truth. can't be mad at a man that speaks his truth. I actually respect him a lot more when he said what he said. I didn't respect him after he said what he said, and then you backtrack, and because you felt like you was gonna get out the good graces of the black people because you're trying to get in with that crowd because you're trying to be a rapper. No, man, stand on what you said. Stand on it. You get a lot more respect like that. However, you know what I'm saying? Again, man, and I'm not surprised when I heard when Lefty Gunplay said that, because I come from exactly his mentality, his mind state, his way of living, his way of life, all that. I come from that same thing. I understand it. Not mad at it. I'm just shocked that y'all are so gullible to embrace somebody like that, a wolf in sheep clothing. Okay, he say what he said. Couple of months go by, he's back in the good graces of black people. You feel me? And I become the bad guy because I highlight out the bad things that he said. Nobody put guns to these men's head and made them say none of the racist things that they said. But I become
right. Lefty Gunplay said, if my daughter came home with a black man, I'd be like, what the hood? Oh, hell no, she can't come home with no black man. But not once did he ever say that the Rasa community would be offended if she came home with a white man. They're only offended if she came home with a black man. Well, stop rapping. Stop making music from our culture. If blacks are your enemies, which a lot of Mexicans believe that blacks are the enemies, this is why Southern California Mexicans formed a loose alliance with Peckerwoods and white supremacists in California prisons because they perceive black men to be the enemy. So if black men are the enemy, why mimic our culture? At that point, you are a culture vulture. If you run with Peckerwoods and white supremacists in prison, you ain't got no business making money off of black culture. You are a culture vulture 100%. If you run with people who are in direct opposition to blackness, but you want to talk about let's bring more black and brown unity, that's impossible. How you gonna run with white supremacists in prison, but then say we need more black and brown unity, but you formed a loose alliance with white supremacists in prison? We got to be foolish to fall for that as foundational black Americans. I'm here to give my people the message. I'm here to wake people up. Until Southern California Mexicans sever their ties with white supremacists, they can never be cool with foundational black Americans. You guys are friends and allies with our direct enemies. Therefore, we have no business dealing with y'all if you have an alliance with people who are in direct opposition as us, of us as foundational black Americans. Let's form a loose alliance with Peckerwoods and white supremacists. But when we come home to the streets, we're gonna talk about this fake black and brown alliance, when in reality we run with white supremacists in prison. Black people, you can't be this foolish. You can't be that brain dead to where you can't see the play, where these people are using us to make money off of our culture. But when they go to prison, they got a loose alliance with white supremacists in prison. How do we fall for that? How do we stand for that as foundational black Americans? If you got a loose alliance with white supremacists, you ain't got no business in FBA business. You ain't got no business in FBA culture. You can't rock with white boys in prison, but when you get out of prison, you want to talk about a fake black and brown alliance? Come on, black people. We got to wake up and start calling out this nonsense and speaking on things for what it is. I'm not going to pretend. I'm going to give you the hard-hitting facts. I'm not going to sell you no dream. There's no such thing as a black and brown coalition. When Southern California Mexicans run around with white supremacists in prison, they got a loose alliance with them. You ain't got to take my word for it. Study the history of Cali and study the history of California prisons. And you're going to say, damn, King Supreme was right. I'm not making anything up.
Bad guy because I point those things out that he said, that I didn't put a gun to his head and make him say. He said it from his heart. That's how he felt from his spirit. You know what I'm saying? But I become the bad guy. You have blacks turn on me because You know, I guess they felt like he was gonna be their one trick pony, you know, into stardom and fame. Yeah, man. Hey, you know, I understand the game though. That ain't something that I can cry and complain about because I understand when you have that one trick pony, you ride it till you can't ride it no more. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But at the same token, hey, I'm glad to know that people showed me who they was. You know what I'm saying? And just like y'all continue to show me who y'all are when certain situations arise, and you know, the black men get painted. For instance, let me use this as an example, right? Not to bring anything up or nothing like that, but for instance, when BG Knockout said made the statement about the Southsiders having the green light to tell on the blacks. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
Bam.
man, we're gonna end it right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let the rest of this ride out because we only got 5 more minutes left. Shout out to this OG. Shout out to 16 to Life, man. If you haven't subscribed to 16 to Life, subscribe to 16 to Life. The man puts out dope content. That's my California brother from another mother. I got love for you, 16 to Life. I rock with your content heavy.
I hear this. I'm like, man, I'm always in my head after I seen that interview that he did saying that. Like, yeah, I always felt the same way.
If there's no black and brown in prison, then there's no black and brown on the streets. I don't want to hear that. If there's no black and brown in prison, then there's no black and brown on the streets. They're using us to make money off of our culture. And you got to look at it just like that. Stop playing games. Let's be real. I'm not going to sell my people no false information to make YouTube money. I ain't going to do that. Nah.
And so do a whole bunch of other people that I know, right? Because of certain situations that we experienced. You know what I'm saying? Where we got told on. You know what I'm saying? By them. You know what I mean? So yeah, hey man. So if you experienced it, then you know. If you haven't, then you haven't. You know what I'm saying? I can't say either side is wrong. You can't. You're not wrong if you ain't experienced it. You ain't experienced it. But for those of us that have that feel without a reason of a doubt, you know what I'm saying? That's an unwritten thing that they utilize. Then hey, we believe what we believe based off of what we've been through, personal experience, real life experience. Does that make me a racist? That make me a hater? No. You feel me? It just makes me look at that crowd differently and hesitantly, and hey, I keep my distance. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man.
Shout out to Matthew. Shout out to Matthew S. For the Cash App. Shout out to Alray Tarrell for the Cash App. I appreciate you, my brother. Shout out to my FBA people who've been supporting this platform financially in a major way, homie. Yeah, we're going to stand on FBA business 100%. Yeah.
Y'all should be in the uproar about a whole bunch of other things going on.
And briefly, right? He did a commentary about that subject, right? And you guys will probably be a little shocked on what he has to say. You know, he gives a full breakdown, right? And I implore you guys to go to the Swang Low podcast and check that.
Man, we're going to wrap this one up, man. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. We've been here for 2 hours. I speak for my people. I said it before and I say it again. Let me say this to the Hoovers and blacks in general, all across Los Angeles and Los Angeles County. If you're not going to DP blacks for robbing other blacks in your community, then you ain't got no business DPing blacks on camera for robbing Mexicans. I don't condone blacks robbing anybody, not blacks or Mexicans, because I don't prey on innocent people. I don't believe that. I don't prey on innocent, hardworking people. I don't get down with that. But I'm saying this to prove a point. If we're not going to DP our people for robbing blacks in our community, then we have no business. Disciplining or DPing our people for robbing Mexicans if we're not going to discipline our people for robbing blacks and our communities. Let's keep it a stack, homie. I'm going to stand on black business, FBA business all day. I'm not going to put gang banging ahead of my blackness. That is cowardice behavior. Because when you go to prison, Mexicans put Mexican business ahead of gang banging. That's why when Mexicans go to prison, the gang banging goes out of the window and it becomes about brown business. Huh? So if we're not going to discipline our people for robbing blacks in our community, we ain't got no business disciplining our people for robbing Mexicans in our own communities. Yeah. That's realer than rap. No cap. FBA business. I don't care about no gang banging. I'm going to stand on blackness. We can still be gangsters and be ready to ride and bring that smoke and come with that heat, but we got to stand on blackness. I'm with all that, homeboy. I'm no stranger to gunplay. I'm no stranger to incarceration and police coming after me to lock me up for what I do on the streets. Don't get it twisted for 1 second because I speak on blackness, nigga. I'm down with the gangsterism. I'm down with the business, but it got to be for a righteous cause. I'm down with the gangsterism. I'm down with sliding. I'm down with riding, but it must be for a righteous cause. I'm with all that, homeboy. I put blackness way before gang bang business. That's what I do. Yeah. Make sure that you subscribe to King Supreme. We gonna stand on FBA business. Stop putting gang banging before FBA business. Put your blackness way ahead of gang banging. That's why you don't have your own communities now in Los Angeles. Why? Because you put gang banging ahead of blackness. And that is a major problem. Make sure that you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to King Supreme. We going in heavy in the game. Yeah, baby. Peace. I got to get up out of here. I'm gone. Shout out to everybody who hit the Cash App. Shout out to everybody who blessed the super chat. I'm going to stand on blackness. I'm going to stand on business. It is blackness ahead of gang banging. You're going to discipline a black person for robbing a Mexican in a black community, but you ain't going to discipline a black person for robbing a black person in black communities. Y'all got the game backwards. You got the game backwards. Oh, let's discipline our people in the black community for robbing a Mexican, but we ain't going to discipline our people for robbing black people in our own communities. That is cowardice behavior. And I don't care how nobody feels about it. I'm giving you the facts. It is facts over feelings. Don't deal with that. I'm with all that, homeboy. I'm with the gangsterism. I'm with the sliding and riding. But guess what? I'm going to do it for a righteous cause. I believe in sliding. I believe in riding. But guess what? I believe in doing it for a righteous cause. We're going to stand on blackness, FBA business. It is FBA over gang banging. I'm gone. Make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later on with some more hard-hitting content.